Misha here, and what the hell did I buy? Not this one. You recently saw it in the SpaceX 3-part video I did. This is the Zhurong capsule. I believe it is actually number 14, but it doesn't really matter. They all look the same. It's just, I think it's the most historically important mission. And they sell this and 18 and 19 and 15 and, on Amazon. I discovered, well, I don't know the brand name. It doesn't matter because there's different brand names they go by on there, but they're all the same Chinese models, which is fine because they're Chinese space products. So, yeah. There's basically no description. I assume there are pictures. Obviously, I cannot see them. This is a 150 scale or 148 scale, so it's good size. And it is mostly die-cast metal, including the solar arrays. I've been very happy with these for what they cost. But there's always some surprises. Some, usually, they're good. The Tianwen-1 space station I ordered, I didn't know it was the full, complete space station. That was great. This one, I wouldn't say it's a negative. I wasn't expecting it to be gold. Oh well, it's still cool. And I bought these before tariffs came through and all that stuff because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I've kind of been on the drive to do it. And you know me, I like space stuff. And these are the kinds of models that they're here today, gone tomorrow. So I wanted a different one that was on there, and I've been eyeing it for a while and had to save up. It came in today from China, and I have to ask, what the hell did I get? This is the box it came in. I ordered a Tianwen-1 Mars Exploration Probe Orbiter set. I was not expecting a metal-lined folding handle, clasp closed box. I haven't really looked inside. I just flipped it open, and I wanted to save it for you guys to see what comes in this set. It's supposedly a 130 scale, so pretty good size. But there's basically no description. So let's look inside together. Well, I'll feel inside, you look inside. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that. This might sound odd, but it has actually a nice smell, like a wood smell opening it up. And they give you cloth fabric gloves. Okay. There's a rod here, I presume for a stand. Some screws and whatnot here. Definitely solar arrays. Appreciate that they kind of pack these in. And I did look at this point because this is pretty cool. This isn't just a top. It's a Mars base. And it's wood. It's got a metal plate here. This is wood, veneer. And this is some kind of polymer, but it does not feel cheap. Maybe kind of a resin. A little bit soft. Yeah, it doesn't feel chintzy at all. Little base up here. So it kind of forms the internal lid. It's got weight to it. And then there's plastic under it. So we lift this plastic divider out. And we have the elements of the craft, the set here, each individually wrapped. Start with taking this out in the corner. I'll wrap all these in a second. Okay. Nice and deep. I don't think there's anything under. No, I think it's just two plastics that are clear a little bit, but they did come all the way from China, so I'm not going to complain. I don't think there's anything underneath. I'll look real quick. Nope. And I've kind of remembered what the smell is. It kind of smells like a department store, like Montgomery Ward's or Sears. Not at all a bad smell. Got a little tray there. Okay, gonna unpack these, assemble, and then we're going to talk about the Tianwen-1 mission, which began in July of 2020, and hit Mars spring through summer of 2021. Here we are together. It was actually very easy. Mostly just unwrapping these. One question. I assume these are antennae. If anyone can tell me where they go, that would be much obliged. There are 4 of them. This thing is almost entirely metal. Very little polymer, very little plastic. It's pretty cool, I think. And the way the capsule stays up here is it has thumb screws, so it's not permanently there. This cone is polymer, the shield, the shroud, but the solar arrays are metal, and they're actually connected by a bar that goes through. Now they do screw to it, but they do rotate in sequence. Also, the array up here, comms array, folds out and pivots. This is also polymer, although the actual arm is metal. The cone of the engine is metal. It's pretty neat. What about our lander here? Well, it's a lander with a rover. Not a whole lot to be said there, but it is metal. And our rover has some stuff going on. And it does have one neat feature. This does slide out, but because of the detailing, you can't really slide it with it. Actually, I lied to you. You can. It will stay on as you move this cradle out. It's a little hard to do one-handed. And then it will roll forward as if it's being deployed. And then there's little tracks it can sit on here. This is all metal. This is metal, including landing legs, pads. The only plastic on it are some of the small thrusters. Again, there's not a lot of articulation because there's just not much that moves. I mean, to be expected. It's heavy though. It's got the rocket engine underneath. And there's little indents on the pad there for it to sit on. Pretty impressive. Then we come to the rover itself. Now, one thing I will knock it doesn't have moving wheels. They're there, they have treads. I guess they didn't want to move it because this isn't really considered a toy. It is a display model. This is metal too. And then these actually fold out. And there's a sequence to them. Again, this is hard for me to do one-handed. That's what she said. If I didn't say it, you would. This last one's a little hard to get. There we go. And they align very well. That folds out, that folds out. You've got this that folds out, and that is our fully deployed lander. These are all metal too. Even the struts for the wheels are metal. Only the wheels themselves are polymer, which makes sense because they would have been a different material. It's got all the sciencey gear on it. That's really cool. Again, my only gripe is I kind of wish they had done little tires, but I guess they may be concerned about it rolling off the base here. This is again wood. Has a metal plaque. Why can't we get this for US stuff? For example, this is what we have on offer if you want an American, a NASA rover. Outside of like Lego and custom 3D prints, the only one I could find is from Hot Wheels. This is Perseverance. They also have a Curiosity version. They're essentially the same. Yeah. It's not bad. It's metal, except for the tires. They do roll at least. But this is it. This is the whole set. And then this is what you get for China. Now, granted, this costs a lot more than this. But still, it's nice to have options. You know, if you do a cheaper one. Now, they did, Hot Wheels, years ago, do a small 3-piece set. That set was kind of celebrating Pathfinder. It did have a Sojourner rover. And it had a lander, and it even had the spacecraft, the orbital element, but they were much smaller. The rover, which was tiny anyway, was a little, it was this size, because it was still Hot Wheels, this kind of base, but, you know, scale-wise, it was probably about a 120. This is about a 130. But then the orbital module, the largest component, was also this size, so it probably jumped up to about a 144. I'm just guesstimating, they don't really give a scale. That's about as good as it got. They didn't do later ones, and that's a shame. And of course, China these days has extensive plans Perseverance was supposed to be able to have material from Mars returned to Earth. It can collect it, but we still got to get a mission over there to, link up and take it. China says they're going to do it with their 3rd or 4th mission. Yeah. As I've said in previous videos, I'm not going to say they've exactly surpassed the US yet. They definitely have surpassed Russia on their space program. Russia's always found Mars very difficult. But if we don't watch out, it's one reason I had to do the 3-part tribute to SpaceX, because, yeah, I know NASA says they're going to do Artemis and all that, but NASA scheduling doesn't inspire confidence. Whereas China, they've been hitting their goals within a year or two pretty successfully. We need a good old-fashioned friendly space race. I think it'd be good for everyone. Technology, employment, national pride. We will look at the NASA landers and rovers, at least the couple I've been able to find little models of. But this one is quite impressive from, well, basically no-name Chinese brand. They're sold under several brand names on Amazon. But they're also, again, the kind of models that are around, you see them everywhere, and they just disappear. And with the tariffs and whatnot and everything else going on, it's one I've been wanting all year. It's one of the most expensive ones, that and the Tianwen-1. But I was so happy with the Tianwen-1 space station that I was kind of wanting to give this a go. Let me know what you think. I'm very happy. It feels good. Nothing really came in broken. One of the I'm not even sure what you call these. Right here was loose, so I glued it again. And for the rover, one of the wheel sections was a little bit bowed and it didn't want to go in the tracks, so I gently kind of pried it out and re-glued it and then set it in the tracks so that when the glue set, it'd fit a little better. That's okay. Considering this shipped all the way from China to here, I'm impressed. And again, that box it came in is something else. Here it is again. I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to do with it. Because unfortunately I can't really put the set back in. The rover and the lander would fit, but I don't want to take the solar arrays off. Like I said, they actually screw into a strut and are connected, and yeah, so it just doesn't really seem like much I can do with it, but I'll think of something. It's a neat enough case. I mean, again, the edges are metal. This is some kind of cheap wood. It is wood. And it has definitely a space age steam. And it was not what I was expecting. As I said at the beginning, that's kind of me buying stuff on Amazon, literally sight unseen. I'm always curious what I'm going to end up with. Once in a while I will be disappointed. But with this Chinese series, I think there's pride that goes into it. They, in China, have been really promoting space and science technology, so this feels like there was effort put into this step. And they've done it every step of the way. They've done the Zhurong, the Tiangong, the little one, and then the big one. They've done the Long March rockets, and we've looked at those. And I'll do a video looking at the Tianwen program. Yeah, later time. This just came in first look, and I wanted to share it with you folks. If you haven't checked out my earlier Chinese or my SpaceX video, please do so. If you could, comment, let me know what you think. And otherwise, if you could share this video around, that would be amazing. This is Misha. I'm going to bed.